Hey guys, TjayGaming here. The transfer window is now shut in the EPL, so I'm just going to do a bit of a transfer roundup. Now, in the background, you'll see a virtual pro gameplay. I'm only showing the first half, because in the first half is when we scored all the goals pretty much, and then they ended up finishing it off by quitting later on anyway. Now, I'm going to go through the EPL teams alphabetically, so I'm going to start off with Arsenal. Now, during the transfer window, they brought in Thierry Henry. He scored a goal on his debut, but he hasn't got much game time since, and he might not get much more, and he doesn't have much time left as well. Now, they also signed 19-year-old Thomas Eisfeld from Borussia Dortmund. Now, he's not that great. He's said to be pretty much the crap version of Mario Götze, but a signing is a signing, and we all know Arsene Wenger like to sign the young players. Now, they did lose some notable names like Frimpong to Wolves on loan, and Rio Miyachi to Bolton on loan. Now, I'm kind of excited to see how Miyachi's going to do at Bolton. I hope he gets some game time. He does deserve it, and we'll see how he goes. Next up, Aston Villa. Now, they brought in Robbie Keane from LA Galaxy on loan, and he also doesn't have much time left. He hasn't done anything too notable either. Now, they did lose some notable silver players in FIFA 12 Ultimate Team, and that is Delph and Delfonso. Now, Delph went to Leeds on a loan, and Delfonso went on Leicester on loan, just so they can improve and get some nice game time. A notable name who didn't leave is Heskey. It turns out he's staying in Aston Villa, and he might just retire next year, who knows, but he's in FIFA for another year at Aston Villa by the sounds of it. Next up is Blackburn. They didn't really sign anyone too interesting, just some unknown players. And then Bolton also didn't do too much either. I mean, they got Rio Miyachi, which will be interesting, which I already talked about, and then they lost Gary Cahill as well. Now, Chelsea. First of all, they brought in Kevin De Bruyne from Genk, but then they also did loan him out straight away. Now, he signed a 5.5-year contract, and he is said to be one of the next up-and-coming stars. I haven't heard too much about him personally, but you can tell me about him in the comments if you have heard about him anyway. Then they also bring in Gary Cahill, though then they started losing some notable names such as Nicholas Anelka and Josh McEwan. Now, Josh McEwan is meant to be one of the next upcoming stars as well, though he's gone to Swansea just on a loan, so he will be back at Chelsea, and we will get to see him playing for Swansea. Next up, Everton. Now, they brought in Landon Donovan, who did alright, but he also is leaving back to MLS soon as well. And a name that I'm loving to hear now, Darren Gibson from Manchester United, who did score a goal against Manchester City to help Manchester United go back to the top of the table, even with them. Then they also got Steven Pienaar from Tottenham on loan. I'm curious to see how he'll go there as well. Then Everton also sold Saha to Tottenham. Now, I'm kind of surprised Tottenham bought Saha. I mean, he's kind of aging now. He's nowhere near as good as he used to be. I just don't feel it's the type of striker that Tottenham really need. Now, Saha, back in his days with Manchester United and Fulham, I think he was top quality. Though now, he's kind of dropped down a bit. And I think Tottenham had the money and resources to buy a way better striker. Now, Fulham, nothing too notable again, but they did lose Bobby Zamora to QPR, which I'll talk about a bit later. Liverpool now, they didn't sign anyone too interesting, and they didn't lose anyone too interesting, so you'll be seeing the exact same team you saw before, and top 4 could be hard for them to reach now. Though Andy Carroll is starting to impress a bit more, but he's still not at the level that he needs to be. Now, Man City, surprisingly, they did not sign anyone too interesting other than David Pizarro, which I find really surprising because he's quite old now, but I guess he's just there to enforce the team a bit and try and help them get to the title, which they won't, but we'll see. Though they did end up losing Wayne Bridge to Sunderland on a loan, but he will be back, though he's also quite old. I think it's decent for Sunderland, might help him out a bit. And then they also sold Frederick Vaselli to Manchester United, who I don't really know much about, but I might see him for Man U later on. Now, Manchester United, they bring in Paul Scholes, which is starting to help a bit, and it looks like he never retired if you ask me. And they also bring in Vasali, as I just said, and then they lost Federico Machida to QPR on a loan, Darren Gibson to Everton, as I said, and Maroum Diouf to Hanover, and Raviel Morrison, the controversial player, to West Ham, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play, though I kind of wish it was a loan and not a buy. Now, Newcastle, they bring in Patrice Dembasise from Freiburg. Now, it's a surprising buy for them, and I'm curious to see how he'll go. It could be just in case Demba Ba leaves in the next transfer window, but I'm looking forward to seeing Cisse play. It's good seeing him back in the EPL. Now, Norwich didn't sign anyone too interesting. They don't really have the money for it, I guess you could say. But next up, QPR. Surprisingly, the big money spenders of this transfer window, probably try and push them out of the relegation zone a bit more, because I doubt they want to get relegated at all. Now they brought in Machida, as I said, Taiwo from AC Milan, only on a loan, but it'll be interesting to see him there. And then they also got Djibril Cisse from Lazio and Bobby Zamora from Fulham. Those two were both bought and they'll be there permanently, and it'll be interesting to see them too. I mean, they are both a tad old, I guess you could say, but they'll still be nevertheless interesting. Stoke, they didn't sign anyone at all, and then they didn't lose anyone too notable either. Sunderland, they gained Wayne Bridge, no one else really interesting, and they didn't really lose anyone interesting either. Now Swansea, they signed Josh McEwen from Chelsea, as I said before, which could be quite interesting, and I hope it turns out to be interesting, just not against Manchester United. Now Tottenham, as I said, brought in Saha. Not a good buy if you ask me. With the money they have, they should have done just a bit more. Now West Brom, again, no one too interesting, and didn't lose anyone too interesting either. Same goes for Wigan, they only gained one and lost one, so same team then. And then Wolves gained Frimpong, who is starting to make a bit of a name of himself with the old Frimpong talk, and then they didn't lose anyone too interesting either. Okay, now finally, that's all the main transfers that are over. Again, a lot of the rumours that happened, not really any of them happened. There was nothing too interesting. I think they only said about 50 to 60 million was spent in this transfer window. Now, January doesn't usually have that much, and if it does have that much, it's because Man City is pretty much buying players, and they didn't really buy anyone. Now, Arsenal could still lose Arshavin to the Russian league since their transfer window is still open, and I kind of hope it happens. I don't think Arshavin should stay in the league, but if it keeps Arsenal falling down the ladder, then I'm more than happy to let him stay. Alright, now I'm going to talk about pro clubs a bit, whether you want to hear it or not, but I know I've mentioned it in a few videos, but we are still looking for players. Our strikers are full 100%. Midfield, we might be able to squeeze in one, depending on how good you are, but chances are low of you getting in. If you're Australian, you have a much higher chance as well. Now, defenders is what we're mainly looking for. We have a left back and a right back, so we are looking for two centre backs, that means. So if you play centre back and you're happy to play there full time and you actually play that position properly and you're up for some fun, I mean, we talk on Skype, we record it, and as you'll see in a video coming up, hopefully my next video anyway, should be a montage of all the goals we scored. Well, good goals at least anyway. I mean, there has been quite a few trampy goals, but you need to do that sometimes. Now, our virtual pro club is working really well together. We're getting chemistry working perfectly now. And I promised this guy I'll give him a shout out. So Adsbro, you'll see him in the video a bit, and you'll see him in the montage. He's a shout out to you for being the top goal scorer. Last thing I want to talk about is a new series I'll probably be doing soon, seeing as Transfer Rumours is now up, and I can't really talk about that. Now, what it is, it's pretty much like a squad builder and a you pick I play. So you guys pick the squad, and that I'll play with it. I'll try and win a tournament with it. I'll try and do whatever you guys want. And you can do stuff such as Ecuadorian national team with a few hybrids. And I'll do that. Or Colombian, or you can just name players and I'll fit the rest of the team in. Now, this video has been quite long. I hope you guys enjoy seeing the long video. I hope I kept you entertained. If you want to see more long videos, tell me and I'll keep doing that. I can do it, it's a bit hard, but I will. Now, that's the end of this gameplay, so laters.